All right, I'm back with my cheap Jeep project. This is a 95 Cherokee Country Auto, full drive, straight six. And my goal is to keep the budget under 2,500 for the Jeep and all the upgrades. So right now, counting the back bumper, I'm at 1830. So after I'm done here, it should be 1860. I'm not counting a few things that I already had. So, if you've ever had a collision with anything, a field mouse or anything, these bumpers basically aren't worth shit. So, first thing most people need to upgrade is the bumpers. That way it gives your Jeep some type of protection. Now, this right here is 4-inch C-channel. The 6-foot section of this was $30. This was a foot, cost $4. It's, it's nothing really compared to what an off-road bumper is going to cost you. And this was laying in my shop because my buddy had it, and I may use it, may not use it, don't know yet. And this I found laying in the middle of the road, so I may use it as well, just because I really like the clevis hitches. They work out really good if you actually need to get tugged out. So, this is what it looks like before. If your bumper has one of those plates, you can either just kick it off, but there's 2 bolts right here. You just take those off. And we'll go ahead and see how this goes. We're going to pull this off. Then we're going to draw it up, design it, and hopefully get it built. If you haven't seen my back bumper video, it turned out really nice. C-channel, and then I inlaid this as a 2-inch integrated grease hitch, so you can use it for towing. So, let's get started. Okay, so I've done bumpers on older Jeeps, and this was not there. When I first got this Jeep, it had an airline leak somewhere up in there, and I just put a screw in the end, never thought anything of it, and my stuff seems to work just fine in there. But I might reinstall this somewhere up underneath the hood there and see if that changes anything, see if it'll work any better. I'm not really sure what this does, other than apparently be filled with water. So, you are going to need one of these Torx bits. You're going to need a set of these Torx bits. I always find that the most inopportune time on a Jeep is when they'll have a Torx bit there. Basically, you're going to have one bolt on the bottom, one bolt on the top, and in this case you had some little bolts over there. Now, to build our bumper, there's a couple different ways I can do. I can extend off this right here, push it out, do what I want to do. I can weld directly to this, and it'll be reasonably strong. It's held on with 3 bolts. If you are planning to put a winch on your Jeep, what you need to do is make sure you get you a 6-inch flat piece of steel. Kind of like this, 6 inches. You can make your own tie-in bracket by removing that inner plastic well, pulling this back, and you can actually tie it in out along there. So not only will you have 3 bolts up here, but you can tie it in back there, and it'll be a lot stronger. In this case, my budget doesn't really have the opportunity for a winch, so I'm not going to go ahead and go that far. If for whatever reason in the future my budget does open up and I can get other parts really cheap that I could go ahead and put a winch, it's nothing for me to go back to the steel yard and get a 20-inch or $20 for a piece of steel and go ahead, pull this bumper off because there'll only be 3 bolts, chop these off, put a new plate in, and just re-weld the bumper back on. So this is how it stands. I have my bracket here. I got this really super tough piece of junk that I'm getting rid of, and I have some decisions to make. So I got the horn and stuff here. I can just loosen that bolt, bend that back, and put it up under here to get it out of the way. If I want to angle that back, I can run it all the way to the end and just leave it straight and chop it off like that at the corner. I can extend it out if I want to extend it out. But remember, the farther you go forward, typically that's mostly for the winches and stuff, your approach angles. I like to try to keep stuff pretty much tucked up in there. I'm not really running over trees or anything, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But you'll see that this is tapered. So your bumper, if you just welded it straight on, it's also going to be tapered. Now for my plans and my design, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it out just a little bit. And to do that, alright, so this is basically what I came up with. I put the piece of C-channel up there, and you'll notice that front end comes out like this. It'll go down and then kind of does that, and comes back. So my goal is to weld a piece of the C-channel that I cut off out like this, bring it down, weld the bottom of the C-channel right here. So basically my C-channel will go just like this. Shitty drawing today. And you'll have a bolt here, and a bolt back here. I'm going to make a line and draw it before I remove that bracket. And the reason why I'm going to do that is that bracket goes like this. There's a hole in the bottom, a hole right here. Once we weld right here on top and we weld right here across the bottom where it actually touches, I'm going to use another piece and I'm going to soffit all the way up. So basically you'll have a piece welded lengthwise all the way back here along this and this. So not only will it be held from the top, the bottom, but it should be held full length down. That should be plenty strong to pull me out or maybe pull somebody else out. Maybe not if I want to do some serious heavily winching, but again, I don't have a winch. So this is my plan as of right now. This is what I'm going to go off. And from my measurements roughly, I do have an angle gauge that you can stick on the bumper. I also use the a rule, or not a ruler, but a big level that held up along here. And rough estimates is from right here, I know that's not quite the top, that's 2 inches. So basically from just behind that to the end of this needs to be roughly 2 inches, but take into account this part right here. On that C-channel, it's bends. So to get a perfect alignment, we may have to grind this corner down a little bit. Show how this is. I have made 2 of these brackets. Let's cool down enough. Yeah. So you can see I ground that off to match the contour of this. So that way it'll actually sit up on there like that. And I got another one up there I made. Basically you can see how it's cut out of that. And this is what we're going to use to determine how I sit. So that right there is at a perfect 90-degree angle. These are so nice to have. So to get our bumper at a perfect 90-degree angle, what I plan on doing is taking this and this. This is going to sit like that. This is going to sit in it like so. And it's going to touch that bumper. Make sure this is at a 90-degree angle. this will determine how far out we gotta go. Right there should be the angle we want. So I will go ahead, mark this, and tack weld it on, and then I'll lift it up on there, verify that it is good, and then I'll do the reverse on the other side. You will see that I did remove that bolt, and the reason is that bolt, I'm gonna put the bolt back in. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to measure from here back to here for a piece of plate. As you see how this is going to be over here, this to the center of this, bottom of this plate like that, and that is what I'm going to use for my strength. So I'm going to take a measurement here to here and how high I need it to avoid these bends, so that way I can weld that plate in right there, and still be able to get my bolt back in. So that's it. Cut and fold to the front to accommodate the bumper that I wanted it, the way I wanted it. Not bad for 30 bucks. Now it matches my rear, also $30. So 60 bucks, 2 reese hitches, good to go. And I put my rack in there and I piled a bunch of stuff on it to see, you know, just how strong it is. And it's solid. I don't have to worry about breaking it, at least easily. If I break it, it's probably because I'm doing something extremely stupid. I may. The Jeep puppy.